You are tuned to the General Overseas Service of All India Radio. We now bring you the commentary. India joins exclusive hypersonic club. It is scripted by Biman Basu, senior science commentator. India achieved the distinction of successfully launching an indigenously developed hypersonic technology demonstrator vehicle powered by a scramjet engine, which will serve as a critical building block for next generation hypersonic cruise missiles. India's Defence and Research Development Organization DRDO, which had developed it, described it as a major technological breakthrough. The air-breathing scramjet engine was successfully flight tested at hypersonic speed within the atmosphere, meeting all technical parameters. The test also paves the way for development of many more critical technologies, materials, and hypersonic vehicles. In the next phase, DRDO hopes to develop long-range hypersonic cruise missiles in the next 5 to 6 years. When a projectile reaches a speed faster than Mach 5, that is 5 times the speed of sound, it is said to travel at hypersonic speed. As of now, only the US, Russia, and China comprise an extremely exclusive hypersonic club with the capability of developing hypersonic missiles. Now, India becomes the fourth member of that exclusive club. In the Indian test carried out from the Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Island off the Odisha coast on the Bay of Bengal, the hypersonic cruise vehicle sustained its scramjet-powered flight path at a velocity of Mach 6 or for 22 to 24 seconds. The parameters of the launch and cruise vehicles were continuously monitored by multiple tracking radars, electro-optical systems and telemetry stations. A ship was also deployed in the Bay of Bengal to monitor the performance during the cruise phase of the hypersonic vehicle. All the performance parameters have indicated a resounding success of the mission. Although it is a big achievement, India still has to achieve sustained scramjet-powered hypersonic flight for a few minutes, which has been demonstrated by the US, Russia, and China. In fact, the three countries are way ahead in the race to develop aerodynamically maneuverable hypersonic weapons that can defeat enemy missile defense systems. The Indian Armed Forces already have the ramjet-powered BrahMos supersonic cruise missile developed jointly with Russia, which fly at a speed of Mach 2.8. A ramjet is a form of air-breathing jet engine that uses the engine's forward motion to compress incoming air without an axial compressor or centrifugal compressor. A supersonic combustion ramjet or scramjet also relies on high vehicle speed to compress the incoming air forcefully before combustion. Whereas a ramjet decelerates the air to subsonic velocities before combustion, the airflow in a scramjet remains supersonic throughout. Ramjet works most effectively at supersonic speeds of around 3 Mach and can operate up to speeds of Mach 6. However, the ramjet efficiency starts to drop when the vehicle reaches hypersonic speeds. On the other hand, a scramjet efficiently operates at hypersonic speeds and allows supersonic combustion. The complex technology behind the hypersonic test demonstration vehicle also has civilian applications like low-cost launching of small satellites. Today, satellites are launched into orbit by multi-stage satellite launch vehicles that can be used only once and are therefore expensive. Also, their efficiency is low because they can carry only 2 to 4% of their lift-off mass to orbit. Moreover, nearly 70% of the propellant carried by today's launch vehicles consists of oxidizer that provides oxygen for combustion. Therefore, the cost of placing a satellite in orbit can be substantially reduced if the next generation launch vehicles use a propulsion system that can utilize the atmospheric oxygen during their flight through the atmosphere. Scramjet-powered launch vehicles can achieve that. That was a commentary. India joins exclusive hypersonic club. It was scripted by Biman Basu, senior science commentator, and read by Kaushik Rai. This broadcast came to you from the General Overseas Service of All India Radio.
We present the intriguing game of numbers, the mystery of number calculation solved in seconds. So be ready with your pen and paper and let your mind explore the world of numbers.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Playing with numbers.
Playing with numbers for the maths lovers and developers. learn the solution in a few seconds, special types and lengthy questions under the guidance of teacher's teacher, Maths Wizard Ashok Kumar Roy.
In this episode, we will find out the value of 108 square. For this, we will make two boxes from left side to right side. In the first box, we will take a 3-digit number formed by 108 plus 8, which will be 116. Always keep in mind, in the number 108, the digit at units place, which is 8, is very important. So, in the first box, we will write 108 plus 8, and in the second box from left side, or in the first box from right side, we will write 8 square, which will be in 2 digits 64.
And now it's turn to find out the value of 108 square. For it, in the first step, we will calculate 108 plus 8, which will be 116 for the first box from left, and in the second step, for the right box, we will keep in our mind the value of 8 square in 2 digits, that is 64.
So, the final answer of 108 square will be 116 and 64. We will put together 116, 64 as the answer of 108 square. Here 116 is equal to 108 plus 8 and 64 is equal to 8 square. So in the two steps, we will find out the value of 108 square, which will be 108 plus 8, 8 square. From left side, we will write 108 plus 8, 8 square. Here 108 plus 8 will be 116 and 8 square will be 64. So final answer of 108 square will be 11664.
Finally, we will put both the 3-digit numbers 116 and assumed 2-digit number 64 in both boxes from left to right respectively to get the value of 108 square. Thus, as a result, we have the value of 108 square as 11664. This program was conceptualized and produced by Monica Gulati, assisted in production by Divya Nambishan and narrated by Lucy Gabriel.
Tanum ta, taratatan tanum ta, tanum ta nantari nantari tanum ta, jhanta jhum tanum ta, jhanta jhum tanum ta, jhannum ta tanum ta, taratatan tanum ta.
जंगल जंगल फिर बात चली।
Radio is an inheritor of our ancient storytelling tradition. And what better medium than radio to bring you a series specially curated for children and the young at heart, based on the enchanting and enduring fables of India like the Panchatantra.
Unity is strength. The story of the pigeons and the birdcatcher.
Deep inside a dark and dense forest, there lived a happy flock of pigeons. They led a life of peace and plenty. The forest had many ponds, and it also had a beautiful clear stream flowing through it. They had plenty of water to drink, and thanks to the wild fruit trees and the insects and worms that crawled on the ground, they had plenty to eat too. So the pigeons flew around the forest, flying from one tree to another under the clear blue skies. Life really couldn't have been better. Often they would descend to the ground when they spotted some prey with a flutter of their wings and feed on the worms or the fallen fruit. One day a pigeon spotted something unusual, something that he or others in his flock had not tasted in a long, long while. Rice grains. Soon he let others know of his tempting and rare find. The last time they had rice grains was when a small flock flew to the edge of the forest where the farmers' rice fields were. And that being the time right after harvest and threshing, they found plenty of rice grains they greedily fed on. They were crunchy and delicious. They must have eaten all they could for a good 15 minutes till the farmer's wife got to know of it and waving a stick ran towards them shouting, "Hut, hut, bug, bug, bug." So when the pigeons spotted the rice grains, their eyes lit up, and the pigeons let go a combined call and said to each other, "Let's swoop in, guys, and feast." Now an old pigeon, the senior most in the group, was watching all this with suspicion. She did not like the look of it. Why would there be rice grains in the middle of a forest? How did the grains get there? Somebody must have deliberately spread it there on the ground to tempt them. Maybe it was for the squirrels, but well, it could be for them as well. Hurriedly fluttering her wings, she let go a call of warning and tried to tell the pigeons that there was something fishy and they shouldn't rush down. It might be a trap. But well, you know, young pigeons are like children. They don't always want to listen. So much as they respected the elderly pigeon, the young pigeons, too tempted by the rice grains, swooped down on them. Ah, what joy as they started pecking away the grains and they cracked under their beaks. They went, busily eating away even as no one noticed the net under their claws. Suddenly, one pigeon realized that her feet were stuck, and even as she tried hard, she could not move them. Her claws were stuck in the net. The next pigeon saw her plight and realized he too couldn't move. The word spread that they had been trapped, and then they panicked. There was a flutter of wings, kind of a sound, and to make matters worse, they saw the bird catcher approaching, laughing aloud. "Ha ha ha! Now I'll put you in cages and sell you in the market." Remember the old pigeon? She was watching all this, and she screamed out to them, "Stop tugging at the net individually and trying to free yourself. To the count of 3, all of you spread your wings together and start flying. The net will fly with you too." The bird catcher was just a few feet away when, with a flutter of 100 wings, sound, swoosh, up went the net into the sky, and with it the pigeons. You should have seen the poor bird catcher. "Ah, Why, he went screaming at the birds, beating his chest and pulling his hair in frustration. The old pigeon flew ahead of the flock, and soon, on her signal, the pigeons landed at the mouse's house. There the old pigeon explained what happened and asked the mouse to nibble and cut the net. Well, the mouse got to work, and soon the pigeons were free again. The old pigeon now asked them, "Can you tell me what you learned today?" And without waiting for an answer, she said, "We learned that unity is strength. What we cannot think of doing alone, we can do and achieve together. It was your act of unity that saved you today. Remember that. Unity is strength."
Unity is strength. The story of the pigeons and the birdcatcher.
A presentation of the Central English and Hindi Features units. This program came to you from the External Services Division of All India Radio.
Tanum ta, taratatan tanum ta, tanum ta, nantari nantari tanum ta, tanum ta, jhanta jhum tanum ta, tanum ta, jhanta jhum tanum ta, jhannum ta, jhannum ta, tanum ta, taratatan tanum ta, tanum ta, nantari nantari tanum ta.
जंगल जंगल फिर बात चली।